You have been told that less than 7% of your total daily calorie intake should come from saturated fat. A daily intake of 2000 calories amounts to 140 calories of fat. Saturated fat seems to raise the bad cholesterol LDL in your blood, raising the risk of heart disease and stroke. On the other hand, you are supposed to eat between 25 to 35% of your daily calories as unsaturated fats from foods like fish, nuts, and veggies. For good health, the majority of fats you eat should be mono or polyunsaturated fats, and less than 0.2% should come from trans fats. Such guidelines have been given by the American Heart Association and practiced by most health-conscious people worldwide for decades. Once it was saturated fats that were demonized. People started eating more sugar-containing foods, and the obesity problem got out of control. Then you were told to cut down on sugar and forget about your fat intake. Now we have gone further and say that saturated fats are at no risk for cardiovascular disease. An interventional cardiologist, Dr. Asim Malhotra, asked, "Is saturated fat the health hazard it's been made to be?" Dr. Malhotra is an interventional cardiologist practicing in London. He says the mantra that saturated fat must be removed to reduce the risk of cardiovascular disease has dominated dietary advice and guidelines for almost 4 decades. He further says that saturated fat has been demonized and any link with heart disease is not fully supported by scientific evidence.
Good point. Well, heart specialist Asim Malhotra is behind the report and is with me now. So interesting to have you with us. This is blowing up traditional wisdom, all the things we've been told for years. What is the point then?
The reality, Lucy, is that we, decades of advice to lower blood cholesterol through reducing saturated fat in the diet and also the use of drugs has failed to eradicate, if you like, the epidemic of heart disease. It's still one of the biggest killers in the Western world. And the reason for that is the focus has been misguided, it's been wrong, essentially. We know that saturated fat, based upon very robust data and studies now, shows that there is no association with the development of heart disease or type 2 diabetes or death. In fact, there is some data suggesting that saturated fat from dairy products actually may protect against heart disease and type 2 diabetes.
It's bad for you in other ways, though, saturated fat.
Well, actually, there are different types of saturated fat and they have different effects. What we need to do is focusing on real, non-processed foods. It's interesting, there's also been a bit of there's a misguided information on, for example, you have a picture of a burger and fries and people think high in saturated fat. Well, actually, the actual meat, the red meat, the burger has less than 10% saturated fat. The real problem with that food are the refined carbohydrates, which are the white bread, the bun, if you like, deep fried in vegetable oil, potatoes, or, the chips. That's where the problem is. But what we're trying to do in this editorial is also shift the focus to where the underlying real cause of heart disease is. And
If you ask the Centenarians to reveal their secret of longevity, they will attribute it to a diet contrary to that advocated by the American Heart Foundation. For instance, a super centenarian from New York, Susanna Mushard-Jones at Vandalia Senior Center in New York, pronounced that she ate bacon every day from her young days. She would say she would eat bacon all day long if given a chance. She gets up at 9:30 in the morning and has scrambled eggs and bacon an hour later. For lunch there is fruits, and for dinner she prefers to eat the meat on her plate with vegetables or potatoes.
You're the oldest person in the world. The oldest person in the world has died at the age of 116 years old. Susanna Mushat Jones passed away at a senior home in Brooklyn, New York, where she lived for more than 30 years. She had been sick for about 10 days. She was crowned with the Guinness Book of World Records title last year. Jones was born in 1899 on a small farm in Montgomery, Alabama. She was one of 11 siblings. When she graduated from high school in 1922, Jones worked full-time helping family members pick crops. Relatives credit her long life to her love of family, generosity.
The Italian woman who succeeded her as the world's oldest living person said that she loves eggs, which have been part of her daily diet for over a century. Born in 1899, Emma Morano will turn 117 next month. She said, "I eat 2 eggs a day and that's it, and cookies, but I do not eat much because I have no teeth," she told AFP news agency. Morano started eating eggs at the age of 20. Suffering from anemia, she consulted a doctor who told her to eat 3 eggs a day, 2 raw and 1 cooked, the agency reported. She's kept that diet for over 90 years, which would consume more than 100,000 eggs. Emma has eaten very few veggies and very little fruit. As a routine, she eats 3 eggs daily, 2 raws in the morning, an omelette at noon and chicken at dinner.
The world's oldest living person, Emma Morano, celebrated her 117th birthday on Tuesday, and despite her age, she was even able to blow out her candles. While sitting in her 1-bedroom apartment in Italy, she was thrilled with all the attention she's receiving for hitting such a milestone. Emma's longtime physician, 2 nieces, and caregivers joined the party, and she even got a greeting from Italy's president. She enjoyed her favorite cookies with some milk. The centenarian is believed to be the last surviving person in the world born in the 1800s. She showed long life to her genetics. One of her sisters lived to be over 100, and another one is nearly there. Her diet includes 2 raw eggs and 3.5 ounces of raw steak a day. Be sure to watch.
There are an estimated 573,000 centenarians in 2021 in the world. There are over 100,000 centenarians in the US, 40,000 in Japan, and 8,500 in England and Wales. The oldest person who lived up to 122 was Jean Calment. Most of these centenarians don't bother about eating a healthy diet as we are. They are primarily on high saturated and monounsaturated fat and low carb diets. Jean attributes her youthful appearance for her age to olive oil, which she poured on all the foods and rubbed onto her skin. She also drank wine, ate chocolates every day. She also didn't bother eating much sugar. Her mantra is olive oil, wine, chocolate for longevity.
A French woman entered the record books today as the oldest person in the world. Jean Calment was born in 1875 and remembers the Eiffel Tower being built. Forget a healthy lifestyle, she recommends fun and laughter for a long life.
She enjoys wine. She only gave up smoking 3 years ago and still has the odd puff. And she has a penchant for chocolate. She's also now the oldest person ever, and that's official. Jean Calment has been on the planet for precisely 120 years and 238 days. But there's been no big party to mark her entry into the Guinness Book of Records. Her doctor said she was feeling tired, but she did make a brief appearance for the cameras. She lives at a retirement home at Arles in southern France, the town in which she was born on February the 21st, 1875. That was a year before Alexander Bell invented the telephone.
Gertrude Baines of Los Angeles lived to 115 on a highly healthy diet, bacon, chicken, and ice cream. Edna Parker of Indiana died at the age of 115. She too enjoyed eggs daily, sausages, bacon, and fried chicken. So Dr. Malhotra is not wrong when he recommended his heart patients eat plenty of saturated fat containing food. Now, fatty food for diabetics. Fatty foods, especially lumpia, biryani and ghee rice, are allowable foods for people with diabetes as the absorption of the sugar is very low and slow on such a diet. The starch in the rice gets more resistant due to the cooking in oil. You should put about 2 tablespoons of coconut oil into the boiling water before the well-washed rice is added. Now about eggs. For the last 2 decades, we have been saying you should eat 2 eggs daily. One thing you're allowed to take is 300 milligrams of cholesterol in your food daily, and the 2 eggs would give you only about 150 milligrams of cholesterol. Eggs have few calories and are packed with proteins, vitamins, minerals, healthy fats and trace nutrients. The way you prepare the egg can affect its nutrient profile. Cooking destroys any dangerous bacteria, making them safe to eat. Eggs can be poached, fried, baked, scrambled, or made into an omelette. Microwaving is not a good idea because pressure can quickly build up inside and it may explode. Proteins in eggs are more digestible than when heated. Structural changes occur in the proteins in eggs, and as such they are easily digestible. Eggs are good sources of biotin, an essential nutrient in fat and sugar metabolism. It is known as vitamin B7 or vitamin H. In raw eggs, a protein in the egg white called avidin binds to biotin, making it unavailable for your body to use unless cooked. Cooking eggs can reduce their vitamins and antioxidants content, but they are still high in nutrients. So enjoy 2 eggs daily with no guilt. According to the current thought, saturated fats are good for you and have proved that they are not risk factors for heart disease. In summary, I would like to say that all super centenarians are women. You should discuss with your doctor whether foods with saturated fats are good for you if you have heart problems. Hope you enjoyed this video. Stay safe and goodbye for now.